Hi, I wanted to make this video because this is something that's kind of like a big topic right now as far as modding culture. I know Yoshi P just came out with an article. I read it. The article is asking for people to go on there and read it themselves, so I'm going to honor their request as far as that. But there's the sentiment going on that like if modding stops, that Final Fantasy will lose its player base. And honestly, I think it's the opposite. I think if modding were to be stopped in general, the game would probably turn into a better place for people that want to play the game. There's plenty of other social games out there that people are more than willing to join. Um, this is something that has been talked about for a while. And so I kind of wanted to bring up some stats on what was happening in the game as far as different statistics. And so we have something here. We have this here as far as like MMO populations. This is something I looked up today. Today is August 27th. And we have on here the population of the current amount of players in the game, and we have like about 350. I think this is 370, 375 is what we have. I know there's a interview that happened recently that said that there was about 270 people, 270K using Mari. Do I believe that to be true? No, I actually don't believe that to be true. Um, and but as far as total players in here, we have 70 million subscribed. And so while there is this, and this is also based off of North American servers, I know this is something that's kind of talked about a lot, but I think that when people post these statistics, they're talking about North American servers, not worldwide. I think that there's 270 people using Mare. That might be across the whole world, but when it comes to US, I think that number is significantly smaller. With that being said, there's another statistic up here that was came the other day, and I believe it is this one here through the stream charts. This one is also kind of showing um, as far as how many people are active at the moment. Um, and it's saying that like there was you know 97K. Apparently right now there's 22 thousand people that are playing. This is going based off today, and so this feels like a more accurate representation of the amount of people that are playing the game. We know that Dawn Trail was not received well. We know there was a lot of issues with the storyline, regardless of what your opinion is. But I kind of want to go back to this other one as far as like people talking about um, the populations. And so I kind of want to bring up because this is like a more detailed as far as, you know, 24 compared to now of what the numbers is. There's a slight dip right here. And this was around this time. And I kind of want to bring up this article because people forget really easily. And with that being said, there was something on here. This came up. So this came up on Reddit, and this is something that happened during that time. The people that created mods, or somebody, a player turned out, was also letting people track their alts. And so this happened about 8 months ago, which is around the time when that dip happened. This is like a little bit after that dip happened. And so there's three things that I think kind of like push this to that extreme of this getting shut down. First of all, it's this thing right here. A lot of people kind of went down because of it. And then the second part of it that came down, let me see if I can find it here, is this event here. This is something that happened a couple of weeks ago, or over a month ago, around June. This is something where a lot of people went to Bismarck for a party. They overflooded the servers. They People that were local there were not happy, and they kind of were in chat yelling as far as what their codes were and things like that. And as you can see, this is where this dip happened. So people dropped off the game with that. Now, there is an article here that Yoshida san um, posted as far as what was going on, what his thoughts are on modding. It's up to you whether you want to read that or not. Um, I wholeheartedly agree. I think that modding has turned into something that has ruined the game. As someone who does end game content, this is my first expansion where I tried doing Savage. And basically, what has happened is that a lot of the times when I'm doing Savage content, I'm running into groups that are using third party add ons to tell them where to stand. And it's now ingrained into the culture where if you want to do ultimates and things like that, act as something that's required. I have a couple of friends who play. I have one friend that plays on PlayStation. I have one friend that plays on Xbox. They're both amazing players. They've done ultimates, they've cleared ultimates. But when they try to do new ultimates like Fru, um, they're denied entry unless they're in a party finder. They can't join a static because the minute they join a static, the static asks them to download mods for those fights. Um, Even myself, I didn't understand all the names of what the mods were. I had a friend looking over my videos, especially during M4, S, and M3, which the learning curve was really high for me. M4S was something that was really hard for me to do as a healer, especially when it came to Uptime Sunrise. And then I found out through a friend that the names that people were using to talk to themselves were basically mods to tell them where to stand. Um, Whatever the way that you feel about it, I know there's a lot of information going around. I know there's a lot of people saying that the game would shut down. Honestly, these last couple of weeks since the Grand Exodus was announced, I've noticed more sprouts online. I've noticed more people playing the game. I think when people got wind that this was going to get shut down, that more people actually came back. And these last couple of weeks, actually, I've seen an increase in players. There's more housing available. There's more people that want to play the game. I understand that there's a big social aspect to it, but I honestly feel like with what Yoshida's saying, especially certain topics that he covers in that, if we were to get rid of modding altogether, it would be for the better of the game. I think more people would enjoy the game without having that pressure, without needing to do that social aspect of things, and especially in raiding, because this game is pretty much non existent for people that play on console. They're low key snubbed and it's not cool. So I hope this changes. I hope that the gaming community gets better. I hope that modding, whatever comes next, I hope people keep it to themselves. I really do. And I hope these people understand that they have a right to enjoy the game however they want to enjoy it, but they don't have a right to get upset with other people and to affect the gameplay of other people just because they want to look different when they say that they want to be their true selves. That's something we can touch on another time, but that's pretty much all I wanted to say.